radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Well. Good evening. How you doing, Fade to Black? All right. Today's Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Let's do this, man. Yeah. You know, I start off the show with that. You know, it's going to be good. What an amazing week on Fade to Black. Monday night, we had Michael Cremo here talking about forbidden archaeology. Amazing conversation. Last night, Sir Blake Sinclair was with us, and another amazing conversation. Tonight, it's Sev Tok. She is back with us. We're going to talk about POTUS, UFO, and Disclosure, and a bunch of other stuff. Tomorrow night, Paul Ramash is here. We're going to talk about law enforcement, the police, and the paranormal. All of that wrapping up the week here on Fade to Black tomorrow night. I want to remind everybody, I do have one major event coming up. I've got stuff all year long, but the next major event coming up is next week. It is the Psy Games, the Psychic Olympics. I am a psychic game show host. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's August 1st through the 3rd, 2025 in Charlottesville, Virginia, but it's sold out. Yeah. You didn't get your tickets, did you? Yeah, procrastination. You did what I do. I procrastinate. I put it off. Well, now it is so. It's not going to sell out. I'm going to be just fine. Well, nope. It is sold out. Hotels sold out. Tickets are sold out. Everything is sold out. But if you've got your tickets, I'll see you next weekend. It's going to be great. All right. So if you've already got your tickets, click on the links below and you can get yourself a schedule and check everything out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will see everybody next weekend right there in Charlottesville, Virginia. All right. Where am I at? I had something important to say, and it was about Sev. It was something I can't remember that. We just had a wonderful sound check, and she's the absolute best. A couple of years ago, she was on the show. I said, man, we got to go to dinner. We got to do something if you ever get out to LA. And it was shortly after that, I get this email. Hey, Jimmy, I'm here in LA. Where's a good place for dinner? And I went, oh, yeah. All right, let's go. And I said, how about? And she said, yes. And I show up, and she wasn't alone. No, she had two of my best friends with her. She had Earl Grey and Paul Hynek, and we sat at my favorite Mexican restaurant in the Valley, and Casa Vega, by the way, in case you're wondering. We had one of the most amazing dinners. And I don't want to bore Seb with this. She's going to be on here in just a second, but it was just a great dinner. And we walked out after something like that, right, with the four of us. And so I sit down, and the first thing that Earl wants to talk about is UFOs. And I'm like, man, can we just have some chips and salsa? And we ended up talking about our community and UFOs and disclosure and everything for the next few hours. We leave. Some things you can't make up. We leave, we go out front, and we're taking pictures. Valet is bringing up our cars. And at that moment, somebody said, what's that? And somebody else, it wasn't us, it was somebody else was pointing in the sky behind us. And we turned around, and there's a hill there in Sherman Oaks. Not quite a mountain, but it's right there at Laurel Canyon. And Coldwater Canyon. There's an object in the sky, and it's going down. And I look, I was like, what on earth is that? And then it went behind the hill. and stood back, and somebody goes, that was a dude in a parachute. I'm like, in Sherman Oaks? Like that? Okay, it probably was, I think. I don't know if we took pictures. I'll have to ask Sev. But it was the fitting thing to happen after a dinner like that. That's right. Sev Tok is with us tonight. We're going to talk about the President of the United States, whoever that may be, and the subject of UFOs and disclosure, and what she has discovered in presidential correspondence. Now, we're going to be doing all of that tonight and much more. She is a radio host. She's a podcast host. She's a researcher. She's, I don't know. Are you still the state director of MUFON? I'll find out about that. She's a contactee. She's an experiencer. Of course, she's one of the leading ufologists in our community, and she's an experiencer advocate. She originally is from Istanbul, Turkey. We're going to talk about all of that and much more as I welcome back to Faded Black, the one and only Sev Tok. Sev, what's going on?
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, everybody. Look.
Casa Vega, no way.
Yeah, it was in my margarita.
That was a great night, wasn't it?
I do not remember what you just talked about. I don't remember someone pointing to something in the sky at all.
What? See, you were abducted. See, that's got to be part of your experiencer group. You have to have regression therapy now and go back to that night. I bet you I could get Paul Hynek on the phone right now. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. If he doesn't remember, all of you were abducted. Hold on a minute. How can you not remember that? It was right there. And I think I might have taken a picture. Hold on a minute. You know what? I'm not here to throw you under the bus.
Well, you're not.
What I think is, if you don't remember, you were abducted. Watch this. I'm going to embarrass Paul. Oh, you know what's sad about this? Everybody's going to hear how Paul and I talk to each other. Can you hear it?
Tell him right away what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He sees my name. He's like, yeah.
He's busy.
Yeah. Come on, Paul. He's only a professor at a university. He's probably grading papers. Nah. So you don't remember that?
I'll ask Paul. No, I don't remember it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not going to dwell on that, but I do remember all of us, including you, going, how cool is that happens on right after our dinner?
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
And you know what, though?
Me a little concerned about my memory.
Yeah, no, and that's not your memory. It's the abduction that happened. Yeah, that's what's more concerning. You know what, though? It's time to tip the hat to Earl Grey, because it was not only my last dinner with him, but of course, he passed away shortly after that. But he didn't know at that dinner how sick he was, and he didn't. None of us knew, so why would he know? You know what I mean? And it was so sudden, but we had that opportunity to break bread with him, and he just meant so much to this community, and the four of us together that night for dinner. And I was shocked when I got the news, but you know what? It's a good way to mention him and what he meant to not only us personally as friends, but to the community, and it was so sudden right after that. It just came on so quickly. But yeah, I'm glad that you saved the stir stick.
It's good memories.
Yeah. Isn't that an amazing? Okay. You know what's crazy about that restaurant?
What?
And you can look this up. They have pictures on the walls. If you noticed, if you looked on the walls, that was the first restaurant in the San Fernando Valley. It's over 100
Oh,
years old.
wow.
Yeah. So they have pictures on the wall. Ventura Boulevard, where it sits, which is one of the busiest streets in all of California, right? Ventura Boulevard, and it sits right there. But the pictures on the wall show it's the only building there, and Ventura Boulevard's like a dirt road. That's how old that restaurant is. So if they don't have good food down by now,
It was
not
good.
gonna happen. Yeah,
It was
was
good.
just an amazing.
Even for a vegetarian, because I don't eat meat, and it was good.
Oh, really? How did you manage to get through vegetarian? The smell in that restaurant is nothing but carne asada. How do you get through that? I don't know how you would.
Yeah, that's interesting. Lately, the smell of meat has started to bother me, but it wasn't bad in that restaurant.
Oh, really?
There were other smells there too.
Yeah, well, there are for sure. I used to live down the street from that restaurant. I was telling you guys over dinner, literally down the street and across the street. And I ate there. I mean, it's in my neighborhood, right? It's a couple blocks away. I ate there once a week for 10 years. Love that place. It is just, it's a California institution. So now let's rock into this conversation tonight. And I want to start here. First off, congratulations on everything that you're doing right now.
Thank you.
You and I, it's been a couple of years now, but we had probably a month-long series of conversations about radio and what to do and how to do it and how to get it done. And then boom, you just took off with it. So congratulations.
Well, thank you for your help. You were there to give me good advice.
Was it good advice?
Oh, it was very good advice. I used all of it and it worked.
Did you really?
Oh,
The voodoo dolls, you did
well,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, right on. So, but what do you make of where we are right now? From one host to another, one researcher to another. What do you make of everything, including like right up to today? The next UFO hearing has been canceled. Yeah, they want to turn the next hearing date into an Epstein investigation, which I found that, well, I mean, the committee is what? Federal transparency. So it's whatever falls underneath that, I guess. But, and Burleson has stepped up to take more control of the UAP side of things. Is this pushing, kicking the can down the road once again? Or should we be alarmed? So let's talk about that first. And then what do you think of the overall state of the UFO community and ufology at the moment and disclosure?
Yeah, well, I think it's getting muddled. We have a lot of new voices and a lot of new shows. And for someone who's interested and new to all of this, it can be very, very confusing. Who do you trust? Who do you believe? A lot of people who have the shows are not experiencers or witnesses themselves. A lot of them just regurgitate information that they read or they see. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just really heavy with so many options. And that is why I created my new podcast, UFO and ET 101, because most of the people I talk to do not know the basics about UFOs. And the time is now that everyone should know the basics about UFOs because there's congressional hearings on TV. And for people who brag about being in the know, you ask them a basic question about UFOs and they don't know. So you're not in the know. If you want to be in the know, you got to know the basics about UFOs. So that's what I'm creating. And so far I have 4 episodes. The first episode is called Time to Know, about why I created it. The second episode is called Sounds Like a Klingon Name, which is just a little bit about me and my UFO ET experience and why I'm interested in this. The third is called UFO Lingo, letters A through D. It's the start of a UFO dictionary or glossary, just the very, very basic terms. And then the fourth one is the top 10 military UFO whistleblowers, numbers 1, 2, and 3. And so this is not in any special order, but for this episode, I picked Jake Barber, David Grush, and Lou Elizondo, only because they're the ones that we see so much in the media now. And I just briefly describe. And so I want to create a really super simple, easy, basic place for people to go to. Who's Lou Elizondo, or what is Jake Barber talking about? A dog whistle. What's that? What's Skywatcher? And I keep it really simple. And at the end of each episode is a quiz.
You bring up a great point. There is a need for that. And it's because I've talked about this before, but it's very important. Even Lou Elizondo should go and listen to that podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Well, no, I'm not kidding here, because you and I have been at this for a very long time. All right. I've been researching this for almost 50 years, longer. And you cannot learn all of the basics in a year or two being new to the subject. You just can't, it's impossible. There's not that much time in the day. And so many rabbit holes that you get led down, and you get pulled away from the basics. But it's an impossible task. So if there is a resource for that where you can just go and learn the basics, that is of tremendous value to the community. People make mistakes. They don't understand. They don't understand a term or a case, or what are they talking about? What, I haven't heard of that. And it's difficult. Who do you turn to ask the basic questions? And the reason why I bring up like Lou over the last, now I've known Lou for a long time. He's been on the show many, many times. We did a movie together, and he's done a lot for this community, but he's also stumbled a lot. And the stumbling comes from lack of the basics, and that's a tough thing. And you can't hold it against him. It's not like he's been researching this for 50 years. He hasn't, and
What do you mean lack of the basics? Are you referring to those two pictures, the chandelier photo and
okay, that's
the irrigation circle?
Okay, those are good examples, but I'm not specifically talking about those.
Okay.
But if you want to bring those up, if you are going to show an image as a person coming from a position of authority in the subject, right? You're in Washington, D.C. waving an image around. You need to know what that image is. And you don't want to be caught showing something that is misleading. And people inside of the UFO community that have been doing this for decades, they've been down that road, right? You're not showing an image that you don't know what you're showing. And that only comes from experience. And he doesn't have that. And it's tough, man. The UFO community will come down on you if you are misleading at all or not researching the stuff. But I'll bring this up as an example. And I'm not in any way ragging on Lou. I'm saying that the UFO community, the people that are new to it, are listening to people for the first time. Okay. So when Lou, 6 years ago, he was in Italy doing a presentation, and he shows up on the screen an image of the Capitol building in 1952 with rows of lights above it. And he says, this is an actual photo of the 1952 UFO flap over Washington, D.C. right? Now, what he doesn't know is what all of us in the UFO community have always known about that image. That was a movie poster. It was the cover of Fate magazine in like 1955. All right, that's it. It's not an actual image of the UFO flap. Now that comes from lack of experience.
Are you sure that's what it comes from? Because if he did that 6 years ago and he just did it a couple years ago and just within the last couple of years, he did it again. And his entire career was based on facts.
Correct.
And so all of a sudden he's going to start presenting pictures and his excuse is, I didn't have time to vet it.
Yeah. And that is an issue, but it's not, it's an issue with Lou for sure, but it's an issue that goes back to the UFO community that is searching for answers and looking for stuff. And somebody that's new to the community sees that and they go, oh, what? They had a picture of 1952 like that over the Capitol. What the F is going on here? When it turns out it wasn't. It was a movie poster. But if you go back, take it away from Lou, but go back to you're the guest on the show, but let's talk about the politics of this situation. Okay. When To the Stars Academy did their press conference live, right? And they are announcing selling stock and who is involved. And they got Chris Mellon on the stage and Lou Elizondo is there. And Steve Justice was on the stage from Skunk Works. It was just like this powerful group. And Chris Mellon gets up there and shows this image on the giant Jumbotron behind him and says, what is this technology? What is visiting us? We need this image right here. We need to find out what this is and who is doing it. And that's what To the Stars Academy is all about. Well, you know what the image was that he flashed up on the live Jumbotron, on the live stream announcement of To the Stars Academy? It was a #1 Mylar birthday party balloon. Okay.
What is going on? You don't think these men don't know?
Everybody was saying the same thing. It's just like, wait a minute, who is vetting this material, man?
I know someone who bought stock in that. He's a well-known experiencer, and he regretted it. Did you buy stock?
No comment. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, though, Sev. Okay. That's why going back and doing something like what you're doing, a UFO 101 thing, back to the basics, how to do your research, what the terminology is. You're probably going to go into some, historical cases and things like that and get everybody, get their feet wet before they jump into the deep end of the pool. And I think that is very, 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 very important.
Thank you.
So,
and it's just the facts. I don't give my opinions. It's just the facts. I just present facts. I don't give my opinions in this podcast. I give my opinions in on other videos. I just dropped a new video that I call Nixon's X-Files about some UFO correspondence that he had received. I'm starting to research citizens writing United States presidents. What happens to those letters? They all have to do with UFOs. They're all demanding answers about UFOs. And so these letters are like 50 years ago. Nothing's changed in 50 years. We still have the same questions. And so I'm interested in who's writing the president. What are they asking? How is that letter handled in the chain of command?
How is it handled? Do they get read?
Yes. So in my video, I go over 2 letters. One is from a gentleman in Milwaukee, and he's written to the White House several times about UFOs. In fact, he wrote Gerald Ford at least 3 times. And he was upset about the swamp gas because Gerald Ford was representative for Michigan for about 25 years. And during that time, there was a UFO flap in Michigan. And Project Blue Book went out there to investigate, and they called it swamp gas. That's right. Ford said that was a flippant answer. Ford
Yeah,
didn't like that
he was
answer.
pissed off.
Yes.
He went to Washington D.C. I think he was governor of Michigan at the time. Goes to Washington D.C. and did the last. I don't think he was a senator. I don't think he was Congress. I think
He
he was the
was a
governor.
representative
Oh,
for
he
25
was in
years.
Congress. Well, I thought Gerald Ford was the governor of
And
Michigan.
then he
It doesn't
became
matter.
vice president. Okay.
It doesn't matter. My old head can't handle historical political knowledge. I don't remember any of it. But
Okay.
he did have the last congressional hearings until we started them up again 2 years ago. Now think about that. We had that huge gap, from the late
Yeah.
60s all the way to 2023, something like that, before we had hearings again. So yeah, he was pretty angry.
Yeah, out of all the presidents I'm looking at, so far he's the one that has the most UFO documentation. Ford.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And so is the staffers read it? Does the president ever read it?
That's a good question. So, for instance, with this first, can I share my screen? Can I show you these letters?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show. I'm the
Okay.
guest.
Let me show you this one letter from this gentleman. And the letters he writes are very, very funny. This man from Milwaukee, I think it's 1969. He's very well educated. He knows exactly what he's talking about. Actually, reading his letters, you learn something from reading his letters. How do I share?
Down at the bottom, you'll see the little share button.
Which one is the share
It's
button?
the plus
Oh,
in
yes.
the TV screen.
Yes, share screen.
Yep.
Then
Then click on this, the letter, what you want to show.
I want to show my desktop.
You want to show your whole desktop?
Well, my file is on my desktop. Can I do that?
Well, open the file first.
Well,
yeah, open the file first, young lady.
Should I cancel this?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. He was in Congress that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Congress for Michigan's 5th congressional district for 25 years. He was the House Minority Leader.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I thought he was governor. And I just goes to show you what I know.
Okay. Well, anyway, I have the letter here on my iPad.
No. Click on the letter on your screen, on your desktop. Open it up.
Okay, so I have to minimize this.
No, you don't.
Well, I can't get there.
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like my whole screen is you.
Okay. Email it to me.
Well,
you can't do it
share
because
with
it's
everyone.
buried. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, email it to you?
Let me see. Did you send it to me? Let me see.
No.
Here. No, you
I'm
didn't.
going to email it to you right now.
Okay, email it to me.
Jimmy Church.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we are live on the air right now, Seb. So while you're emailing that, I'll just continue talking. But
okay, good.
I often wonder, is the president, whoever it is, the boss? Are they read into UFOs? Do they know about ET? Do they know about contact? Or is it above their pay grade?
Well, that's what's so interesting about Nixon, because, we heard these stories about how he showed Gleason in 1973. He took him to Homestead and he showed him these alien bodies, and Gleason was never the same after that.
That's right.
So I think Nixon knew, and he just didn't let on publicly. How many presidents know? I don't think many. My personal opinion is not many, but I think Nixon knew. Why did he know? I don't know why he knew.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really great question. Because does the president, right? You get sworn into office, right? You put your hand on the Bible, you do your thing, you go over to the White House for the first time, you walk into the Oval Office for the first time. It's your office now, right? You sit down, what's that desk called? The Resolute desk or whatever they call that thing. And you sit down and you do your thing. You move your stuff around, your little pencil holder, your pens, your desk blotter. You get all situated and you feel pretty good. You kind of and then the phone rings. What? Pick it up. And then you find out who the boss is. I tell you right there. Okay, this is your boss. And I'm wondering, is that, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way it goes down. You think that you're, the leader of the free world, and then you get the phone call and you find out that you're not. Don't ever talk about UFOs. Whatever it is, and you've got the folder, the binder, you've got all your secret stuff that you need to know from the moment that you are now president of the United States. And, the page about UFOs is missing. I often wonder about that.
And yet, this letter that I just emailed you, from what I saw, at least 7 people looked at that letter. High up, 7 people. And one of them was actually Secretary of the Air Force, and he was in charge of modernizing Air Force technology. And he looked at that letter. Now, this letter is just from an average U.S. citizen, but he asks a lot of questions. It's very obvious that this man knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I did. I emailed it just a minute ago.
Okay, let's see.
It didn't come from Sev. It came from Zulu Kiss.
It's her secret email. Hold on. Okay, I have not gotten it yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, so one thing that's funny about this man's letter is at the very end, he calls President Nixon a coward for not coming out and telling the public all about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I also talk about a letter a little girl wrote. She was only 12 years old. And she wrote a letter to Nixon because she created this theory about what UFOs are. And it was this really imaginative, very interesting theory for a little 12-year-old girl. I'm going to read it to
you. When my mom passed away 7 years ago now, I flew out to Florida and I'm going through her stuff and, just getting, like my birth certificate, my original baptism papers and photographs and stuff. And then I come across a stack of letters. I have them to President Nixon. Yeah. Not about UFOs though.
You wrote Nixon?
Yeah, she wrote him a bunch of times.
Oh, your mom did. Well, what did she write?
No, I can't tell you. She was working out some political issues. She was pretty pissed off. So anyway, but I was like, I didn't know about this, and I'm looking at the dates, and it was like 1970. So I was like 7 years old. I had no clue, but yeah. So I got a stack of these letters. Yeah, she wrote a couple senators and
but no response. There's no response in there.
There is. Yeah, there is. I don't want to get into it. She's not with us and stuff. Okay. And it was, but when she did that, if I was 7 at the time, she was probably 27. Yeah, she was just a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, she was just a kid doing this stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this really cute little letter written to Nixon from this little girl. Her name is Melissa, and she's 12 years old.
Okay.
And all right, it says, it's very short. Dear, this is December 23rd, 1971. Dear Mr. Nixon, I'm writing to tell you about my idea on flying saucers. You know that when you shine a searchlight, that it shines far. Well, maybe when it shines into the sky, it passes into space, and when it reaches its destiny, it changes into a form and comes back down to Earth, and we think it's a flying saucer. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Yeah, I don't think that was her mom. Yeah, I don't think that was her mom. I think she wrote that.
Oh, no, it's in her handwriting. I don't know if you can see it.
That is,
okay. But it's in her handwriting. And she got a response, but it was a lame response.
Yeah.
The response didn't even have anything to do with UFOs at all. It was just stamped Richard Nixon saying, thank you for writing me and you're kind and good luck is all it said. Didn't even address a single thing this very intelligent little girl said. And so that's basically what I'm discovering so far, is that if there is a response, it's extremely dismissive.
Yeah, and so she was 12, and so that was between 70 and 72. He was out of office in 74. So but that was 50 years ago. So she would be in her 60s, late 60s today. I wonder if she's still around.
I was thinking about that.
Do you have her first and last name?
Yeah, it's Melissa Reynolds.
Don't say it on the air.
I did. I just said it. What are you going to do? Can you cut it out?
No, you said Miranda Ray-Ban is what you said. So, fake name. Yeah, I wonder if she's still around.
Well, Martin, Tennessee.
Okay, you're almost doxing her. So we got to be very careful.
All right, can you edit that out?
No, this is live. This is live on the air.
All
See,
right.
Sev, you need to watch my new podcast. It's called Broadcasting 101.
You're right. I forgot. All right. Am I going to get in trouble?
I don't know.
All right.
Bleep, 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 bleep. I love you so much. You're the best. But oh man, I'm so uncomfortable. It's hot in here, man. It's hot. It's hot.
Okay, there's something I'd like to say. You had asked earlier if I was the state director for MUFON for North Carolina, and I am no longer the state director for MUFON. I would like to say that MUFON was very good to me. I am now the director of Experiencer Connect at the International UFO Bureau, which is an organization that's older than MUFON. And it was started by Hayden Hughes in 1957 when he was only 16 years old in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's great.
And now it's been revitalized. It's owned by Mindy Toutfest, who's also the CEO. And Terry Ling Keel is she's the chairman of the board. Excuse me, she's the chairman of the board. So what this Hayden Hughes did, very interestingly, is when he was young, he wrote a letter to Khrushchev asking him about Russian UFOs. And so the FBI and Khrushchev responded. I haven't found that letter, but he responded. And the FBI got wind of this. So they sent the men in black to his house.
Of course they did. Especially back then. Woo, fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then another interesting thing about the International UFO Bureau is there's an archive. And we have the report that Jimmy Carter filed for his UFO sighting, because Hayden Hughes wrote him and said, I hear that you saw a UFO. Would you like to fill out this report? And he did. And after that, Jimmy Carter said that if he becomes president, he's going to make everything transparent and bring everything out into the open, which of course never happened.
Yeah,
but that was his wish.
Why do you, I think about that all the time. Why do you think that is? It goes back to what I said earlier, right? You get into the White House, you get in the Oval Office, and you find out that you're not in control of these things. I would say that is probably why do you think they clam up after they win the election?
Because they start to realize the truth of how complicated this is and how much money is involved and things that we don't even know about. But you know how deep it is.
It is deep, but there's, I think that the complications are some of the things that we're not necessarily aware of, that the president and any administration that goes in is there for 4 years. All right. 8 if you're lucky, right? You get reelected.
Or 12 if you're Trump.
Easy. I don't do politics on the show.
I know, but he thinks he'll be there for 12 years.
Still don't do politics on the show.
Okay.
I'm not going to take the orange
Okay.
bait on that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The people that are involved in this subject are in the middle of a career. They were there before the administration came in, and they're going to be there after the administration leaves. And that's the reality of it. The UFO question disclosure, ET contact, whatever it is, reverse engineering, Lockheed, whatever, Department of Defense, Pentagon, whatever is involved with it, has been going on for a very, very long time. And that has nothing to do with any administration that comes in. And that's what I think is, and that's what, now, is it petrodollars? Sure. Is it this? It reverses secret stuff? Yes. Is it contact? Yeah. Have we make it's all of those things, but reading a president in and bringing him up to speed on a subject like that has, in their opinion, nothing to do with the president.
Right.
They've got a system in place that they are continuing with. It doesn't matter who's president. So that's my take. I could be way wrong here. I could be way wrong, but I think that's probably.
No, I agree with you. That seems like that's how it works. So once again, then, if the story is true about Jackie Gleason and Nixon, why Nixon? Or maybe the story's not true, but why would Gleason make that up?
The things that, I know. And his wife, because he told his wife, and his wife, spoke about it after he passed away. And of course he built, his flying saucer house, which it's pretty unique. And so what was Gleason's take on this? When you look at the logistics of everything around that case, Nixon and Gleason were in Miami that weekend together. Gleason was hosting a golf tournament that weekend. Nixon was there. They were photographed together and in the paper together, in a golf cart together at that, you know what I mean? So that part of it supports this thing. Now, going further, the way that Jackie Gleason talked about it, it's pretty sensational, but it's almost like the way it would go down, except I think Gleason said there's two versions to the story. One, that Nixon was driving his own car, right? And drove up to the gate at Homestead and said, "Let me in."
I don't think so.
That one, and then in another version of the story, Nixon showed up in the presidential limousine and picked him up, and they drove to Homestead and then drove on to the base. So I can't picture Nixon driving his own car, but maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you can get away with that.
But how is the Secret Service going to let you do that?
It's 1972. It was different time. No, Dean Martin was drinking whiskey on TV.
I love Dean Martin.
Yeah, it was a different era. It was a different time. I don't know. But Gleason's description of it, going into the room and then seeing all of these alien bodies in front of him, that was pretty an interesting way to. He didn't see a flying saucer. You remember, he only saw bodies.
Right. Yes.
Which is interesting. That's even more. It's like it supports the story to me. It wasn't like he said, "I saw the bodies and then I went in and saw the craft and I went on board and then we flew it around South Beach." He didn't say any of that. He just said he walked into a refrigerated room and saw these alien bodies.
So what this in my mind, where I go with this is, why would Nixon show him? Was it bragging? Who knows what that was about? And then that leads me to some of these military whistleblowers, and they have several of them have the same story where they're just walking down the hallway or just walking around, and someone they don't know says, "Hey, psst, come over here. I want to show you something."
Mm-hmm.
And then sits them down at a computer or whatever it is and shows them something. That part doesn't make sense to me.
Why not?
Why would somebody who has been entrusted with this secret just go to somebody they don't even know, walking down the hallway? I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. I'm not allowed to show you, but I'm going to show you. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to show you. What
Right.
is that?
Yeah. And in this world of UFOs, Sev, okay, everybody, this is just Sev and I talking as friends. Okay, so just you guys are sitting with us in my living room. Okay,
Yeah.
we're just having a conversation. In this world of UFOs, some of the strangest shit, the craziest things that could be said are the truest. And that's it's like, well, you kind of the nuttiest thing that you can imagine, the craziest thing is an actual event. And it's like I no longer dismiss everything. I just don't. So a story like, yeah, I know it sounds too far-fetched, but okay, this is just Sev and I talking, everybody. Just get comfortable. I was out at Edwards Air Force Base on my Harley. It's a long story. I'm going to tell you the short version.
Okay.
I pull the bike over. I'm on the base, right? There's a road that cuts through the middle of the base. It's an access road that the public's allowed to drive on, but you're not allowed to pull over. There's signs all over the place. You're not stopping your car. We're going to shoot you, right? Stuff like that. So, but I pull my Harley over. I get off the bike. And I'm standing there. I'm doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. I'm taking pictures and goofing around. And anyway, the camo dudes, and I hear this engine. And anyway, long story short, they pull
I remember
up.
your post. Didn't you post about this?
Yeah, I did. I
remember.
It's that really happened. So you've seen the pictures.
Mhm.
Okay, so these guys, they get out, guns, right? The whole thing. They're all armored up. The pictures are online if you guys want to go see them. And while they're running my license, my ID in the Jeep, the second guy, who's a younger guy than the other guy, was real big, kind of scared me. But anyway, the other guy. So I'm talking to him, and he goes, "So man, so what do you do?" And I tell him, I said, "Man, I'm a radio and TV host, and I talk about conspiracies and UFOs." "Oh, all right. Okay." And he goes, "Why are you out here?" I said, "Well, because of that. The rumors, this is it. It's Edwards Air Force Base, the Mojave Desert, man. There's a lot of history here." And he goes, "Look, man, I'm going to stop you right there." This is exactly what he says to me. "I'm going to stop you right there. I want to see the flying saucers." "I do. I haven't seen any." I said, "Okay, we hear the same rumors that you do on base. Everybody's talking about it. We hear it. I haven't seen any aliens. I would love to see it, but no, I haven't." And I stepped back and I thought to myself, Sev, where there's smoke, there's fire. And why is he saying it like he is saying it? I'm not saying that he's fishing or he's admitting to something or that he knows something. I'm not suggesting that at all, but it was on his mind, right? And where there's smoke, there's fire. And I just find that really strange for
I
him to
agree
say
with
that.
you.
Yeah. We're all talking about it on base. Are you really? Huh. Okay. I'm just, and so we have to look at it in those terms. It's not just the UFO community that's talking about this stuff. It's everybody. It's Congress. It's Capitol Hill. It's the media. It's the news, television and documentaries. It's out there now in the public eye.
Yeah, we don't
So,
have to be embarrassed anymore. There was a time when we were embarrassed if we knew a lot about UFOs and ETs, but now it's cool.
well, it's a great point, because I'm not so sure if 10 years ago I had that conversation with a camo dude at the gates of Edwards Air Force Base. I don't think aliens are coming up, right? but we live in a different time where this conversation can happen in the open. And yeah, it was pretty bizarre when the guy that was running my ID, he gets out, he's got a big notepad, he's writing a report. The guy that I was talking to says to him, he goes, "Did you Google him?" Just like that. "Did you Google him?" And he goes, "I did." And they both laughed. Yeah. Yeah, they both laughed.
They Googled you right then and there while you were standing right there?
He said that he Googled me from the Jeep. So
From the Jeep? From your license plate?
I can only imagine, you pop in, Jimmy Church, and what pops up in Google. I haven't Googled myself in 15 years, so I don't know what's there.
Well,
But I
maybe
can
you should.
only imagine it's just a bunch of conspiracy UFO, loudmouth radio host dude making claims kind of thing. Whatever. I don't know. But that's what he got an eye full of. He did say to me, Sev, he comes up and he goes, "Okay, man, so this is what we're going to do." I said, "All right." He goes, "I'm going to take pictures of you and your bike." I said, "Okay." And so we walk over and sideways, this, that, next to my bike.
Oh, really?
No, this is for the report. Okay, so he takes pictures and then he goes, "Okay, now you're going to get on your bike and you're going to ride out of here." I go, "Okay." He's like, "Now." "Oh, this isn't small talk. Oh, I get it." Put on my helmet. And he's like, "Out." I said, "Okay, all right."
So there's a file. There's a report on you.
Oh,
Jimmy
man.
Church broke
I
through.
said, Sev. I go, "Can I get a copy of that?" He goes, "Nope." Just like that. "Nope. You are the subject of the Space Force report, Mr. Church." Yeah.
Space Force.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's kind of cool, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
you know
one
what?
day we'll see that.
Check this out. Okay, so these guys weren't playing around, right? They were very serious, and they scolded me like I was a little kid. "Our adversaries are looking for people like you posting stuff online. This is a secret facility, and blah, 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 blah. Don't post it. They're, don't help them, our enemies." I said, "Okay, all right. I get it. So they were being very, very, very serious. It wasn't like funny, haha stuff. But I did get on my bike and I'm riding away. I swear to God, I was like, "Yeah, camo dudes, I got it." It's like the rite of passage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your different camera angles there.
Yeah, I got a few.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I got a few.
All
See?
right.
Got a few. Yeah, pretty cool. What was so like 3 months later, and then we'll move on back to the president.
Okay.
About 3 months later, I'm on that same road, and it's called Rocket Site Road. You can look it up. You can Google it. Rocket Site Road at Edwards Air Force Base. And they've got these launch pads up on the top of this mountain range. It's pretty cool. Launch towers for rockets. And it's really great to see. And I'm on that. And I'm coming down, doing, 80 miles an hour. It's out in the middle of the desert. There's no cars or anything. And I round the corner, and guess who's there? Those dudes. And they were sitting there in the same white Jeep pickup truck with the lights on it, sitting on the side of the road. And I just, and I gave them one of these. They didn't wave back. And so I went all the way up. I came back like an hour later, and they were still there. Yeah. Yep. They didn't wave. I gave them a little, what's up? I gave them, no acknowledgement. They were just doing their job.
I wonder how many people they come across sitting in that truck.
Not many. It's in the middle of the desert, but they're guarding, the perimeter fence of Edwards, and that's top secret stuff that goes on out there. I mean, it's a testing facility and training facility. That's it. And it's massive. It's huge. And they're just doing their job. If somebody goes out there, this is, what they're doing I mean, in a basic sense, they don't want somebody going out there, pulling over with a big telephoto lens and taking pictures of the base. It's not going to happen. And that's what I was out there doing. I'm out there with my cell phone, blah, 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 taking selfies, and doing all this stuff. And they said to me, I go, "Where'd you guys come from?" And he goes, "We were right there on that hill." I said, "Oh, okay, on patrol." I said, "Oh, okay." And I look at the hill. I'm like, well, that's why I didn't see him. It was behind me and up, but they were up there. And he goes, "I'm up there with my binoculars." Word for word, this is what he said. "I'm up there with my binoculars and I look around and I see you." And I go, "Wilson, this motherfucker's taking selfies." That's what he said to me. And he said, I handed the binoculars to Wilson and I started the Jeep and I came down off the hill. Yeah. So I was doing exactly what they were patrolling to prevent, out there taking pictures.
But they didn't confiscate your pictures.
They didn't. He told me no more selfies. He did look at them. You know what? I was taking selfies of these signs that said no photography, right? So I thought it would be funny that I took selfies of a sign that said warning, no photography, secret installate, whatever it is. But it says no photography. So I thought it was a funny selfie. So that's what I was.
I wonder if they would have approached you if you weren't taking selfies.
You're not allowed to stop your car. They instructed me on all of that in a very, very direct way. I said to him, so we're on the road and he's telling me this is Edwards Air Force Base. I go, "This is a public road." He goes, "That's a public easement." I said, "Okay." And I stand on the road. I go, "Where am I?" He goes, "Public easement." And I step back into the dirt. I go, "Where am I?" "Edwards Air Force Base." I said, "Okay, you are not allowed to be on Edwards Air Force Base. You're standing there right now. You're not allowed to be there." "Okay, but can I be here?" "If your car is driving through to the freeway, you can drive on this, but you cannot stop your vehicle." I said, "What if I get a flat tire?" "It's going to get towed." Yeah. Yeah. Very clear instructions, man. Very clear instructions. There's the pavement. There's the dirt. You stay on the pavement.
Were you nervous?
Yeah. They kind of freaked me out.
Did you think you might be arrested? Or detained?
The way they ran at me and the way they pulled up, sliding up and all of that and jumping out with guns and stuff. It was very intimidating. Yeah. Yep. They're professionals, right? And they know how to get control of the situation. And I was like right there, man. I was ready to lay down on the ground. I was just like, man, okay, whoa, slow down. Yeah, they were not happy. Yeah, the whole thing was probably 30 minutes, maybe. They have me.
That long?
Yeah, yep. But let's get back to President.
Time.
Well, okay, we got to take a break right here, so we'll come back. Let's get the break in. I guess okay. So lesson learned for me.
Yeah,
I don't stop and take pictures anymore.
That's not true. Yes, you do.
Not out there.
Oh, not out there. Oh, yeah, right.
No. I take pictures other places, but not. Edwards Air Force Base is Edwards Air Force Base. There is Rocket Site Road that cuts through it. When you look at it on a map, you can see how big Edwards is. The dry lakes and all of it. It's huge. It's a massive facility. And that road cuts straight through. It goes from Palmdale up to the 58 freeway. And that's what it is. It's an access road. So people don't have to drive around Edwards to get to the highway that's up there. And that's the reason that it's there. But there, no, I'm not playing that game. And I'm telling you, they gave me a warning. They let me go. That's it. I'm cool. I'm not, I drive through. I like to look. I like to see. Before that, I was shooting stuff up there all the time. I just got away with it. they didn't catch me,
Oh, you've done it before?
Oh man, leading up to that, man, I was posting stuff all the time. I went up there with
Oh.
James Fox. Okay. Next time you see James Fox, you can ask him about this. Fox is lucky that we didn't get arrested, all of us. That guy is a filmmaker. He's a guerrilla filmmaker, and he doesn't give a crap. He's going to shoot what he's going to shoot. So we go out. He's got his film crew with him, his camera guy, his audio guy. He's got his sisters with him, who is lovely, and myself. And we take 2 cars. He's got a black Escalade or something, and my black Jeep. And he wants to go to see some of the secret stuff out at Edwards. I said, okay, I'll show you what's up. Skunk Works, right? And all of this stuff is for his new film, and it's in there. It's in the film. So we go out, and what I know now, that road that I'm talking about, Rocket Site Road, he's filming with the camera hanging out of the car. And I pull his sister. His sister's riding with me, and I go, we're gonna get arrested. I go, do you have bail money? Does he understand what he's doing? And he's doing loops around shooting these signs. I'm like, James, you can't do this. And we did it all day long. We did it at Skunk Works. We did it at Air Force Plant 42. I still can't believe we did that. And I told James, Sev, I'm not making this up. I told James, I said, look, man, over your shoulder is a row of signs. We're outside of the gate. Okay. I take him to this parking lot outside of Air Force Plant 42. And you can see the guards, and you can see them looking at us, right? They're looking at it. And I said, look, there's a sign. These signs are not small signs. They're like 10 feet by 10 feet. Warning. Like billboards, right? And they're all across this thing at the gates. And right behind the gates is a guard shed. It's a big building, but you can see it. And the window and their face. And then to the left of that is the FAA building. That's a whole nother thing. Security, barbed wire, multiple fence lines. It's crazy. They are feet from us, and they're watching us. And James is like, okay, man, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take some laps. And we're going to, I said, no, man. He jumps in the car. Kelly and I are sitting on the curb, and I'm watching James doing laps in front of.
Why did he get away with it?
I don't. And Kelly and I'm like, man, we're a couple of minutes away. Your brother's going to get arrested.
That's surprising.
Yeah, and he didn't. And we did that. I took him to all these other spots around Edwards and Lockheed and showed him all. And he was just filming away. For some reason, they lit us up one time. So we're at the gates. This is crazy. We're at the gates. James, I love you, brother. I hope you're not angry at me for telling this story, because we were not being smart. So we're at the gates of Edwards, and we're shooting video and stuff. And I look across the street and I go, dude, there's a cop just pulled up, and he parked across the street in the tree, right there, right there. And we're looking at him. I go, dude, we got to go, man. And the cop is just sitting in the car, and he's just looking at us. And so James is like, yeah, you're right. Actually, he did the right. So we get in our 2 cars, 2 black SUVs, by the way, and we take off towards Edwards. We're about a quarter mile from the back gate. And that cop turns around, and he's behind us. And James is in front of us. I'm with Kelly. They're filming, and we're on that road, Rocket Site Road, where I got hassled. And we turn, and that cop turns on his lights. And James, we're on the phone with James. He's in front of us. I go, dude, I think we're getting pulled over. And we turn, and we head off this way, and the cop drove on to the base. Later, we went out and filmed by that spot, and we come back. It's like a half hour later, and we're back in front of the front gate, and we pull over to the side of the road. And James is like, okay, man, I'm going to head to the airport. How do I get there? And I'm talking, that cop pulled out again. and he's in front of us, and he lit up his lights and then drove past us. He didn't stop us, but he was like, I could tell they were just like swarming on us, like, don't stop your car. Don't, we're watching you. I go, well, this is where we say goodbye. And he goes, all right, man, I'll see you later. He drove one way, I drove the other, and he drove to the airport and I drove home. But yeah. I don't know how we didn't get arrested. I have no idea. We had no permits, and we're shooting, a movie. Yeah, crazy story.
I don't know how they didn't bother you, but bother the three of you, but then they bothered you when you were all by yourself on a bike.
Yeah, well, James never stopped his car, his SUV. The only place where we stopped, we stopped a few places, but it was anyway. We didn't stop in front of the gates. It's not like he got out of the car with his camera crew and we're out there filming in front of the gates. That would have been a bad situation.
I see.
Yeah, he was always just driving around. Yeah, that's the only Yeah. Ask James; he'll tell you all about it. It was a crazy day. But that's the other thing about this is, back to POTUS and the government and UFOs. James Fox doesn't play around, and he's trying to get the answers, and he will stop at nothing to do that. His new film, The Program, is an extraordinary piece of work. And he's out there. He's in Washington, D.C. He's asking the tough questions, and he will stop at nothing to do that. I've known him for a long time, but when you see him and how he works, he doesn't play. And it was an honor and a privilege to see somebody like that put their own personal safety and everything else that goes into the back seat. He wants the shot. He wants to be able to ask the questions. He wants to do that. And it's one of the wonderful things about him. Yeah. And you see him do it. You're like, well, man, all right. Me, I was ready to lay down in front of those cops. I was like, man, here, let's go, man. I don't think James would have taken it the same way.
That would have been breaking news if Jimmy Church gets arrested up there.
With James Fox and his sister at Skunk Works. Yeah, I could just see that. Yeah.
Well, James probably would have loved that because it would have been a great promotion for his movie. That would have been ideal.
If it would have happened, it's because he was doing his job. It wouldn't be an act. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be posed.
No.
It's because you know what I mean? It's because he's out there doing it. We need to take our break.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to talk about Clinton. I want to talk about Barack Obama. We can talk about not only that, but Jimmy Carter and what ended up happening with him. And of course, Ronald Reagan as well. All of them have a UFO connection and handled it differently. We'll talk about all of that when we come back. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Sev Tok is here. We're talking about the POTUS. What do they know? And disclosure. All of that and much more. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's fade to black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? How you doing? Jimmy Church here. Special announcement. Get your Fade to Black t-shirts. That's right. Help support the show. Help support everything that we do over here. We've got 2 t-shirts. We've got 2 ways to get them. Get your Fade to Black t-shirt today. Go Backley Tappy. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forster and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com.
All right. Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Sev Tok is with us. Talking about POTUS, the President of the United States. What do they know? We've got disclosure that is happening right now. It seems to be very tangible. But she's also an experiencer, and she is a host, too, as well. And one of the things, Sev, that as an experiencer, I don't know how much of an experiencer I am. I've certainly seen a lot of stuff in the sky. But as an experiencer, when you go through that, you understand that there is something going on. There's something happening. And then you see the response with the government and how different presidents have responded in the media, which is what I want to talk about this subject. You know the reality that you're going through and the experiencers that you interact with, and then you hear their version of things. How does that make you feel as an experiencer?
Oh, well, I get asked often by TV shows, documentaries, radio shows, podcasts, can you send us some experiencers to be our guests? And I can't, because 99% of them will come and they'll talk to me, or they can file a report with the International UFO Bureau. But they do not want to go public. They do not want their face to be seen. And I think a lot of it is because of this denial. If the government said, yes, this is true, then experiencers will come out and they go, and it would be a wonderful thing.
Why is it that Skyhawk says hi, by the way, Steve? He's a good dude. I'm posting, I'm clicking. I don't know what I'm clicking on anymore. The Skyhawk, what's up, man? There's
a lot of people. Thank you, everybody, for these comments.
Well, man, see, okay, man, we got to stay on subject, but I just love talking to you.
Thank you.
You know why people resonate with you? They resonate with your
Jimmy.
message. It's your voice, the way that you handle. And when people resonate with you, they just do. They either like you or they don't. Me, yeah, I'm an acquired taste. I get that. But experiencers have a lot more freedom today than they've ever had in the past. But that doesn't fix things for them. They're still only really comfortable inside of our community.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What freedoms do you think they have?
I think you could probably go up to a cashier at Costco and have a conversation about UFOs. You couldn't do that before. And I have a lot of people that come up to me and in public outside of a UFO conference and go, hey, okay, yeah, all right, do you want to hear a story? Now, would that happen 10, 15 years ago? Probably not. I mean, people have always kept. That's why I think before experiencers fully come out, they really need that announcement from the White House.
Mhm.
They need that announcement on TV. That's a version of disclosure that they need.
Well,
You
we
and
need
I,
validation.
yeah, they do. They need that. And I totally get it. I used to say, disclosure's happening. I don't need disclosure. And I would watch people get so angry, saying something because no, disclosure is not happening. No, disclosure to them is one thing and one thing only. The president of the United States going, okay, we're not alone. And then they can say to their husband, to their wife, to their children, to their co-workers, see, okay, this happened to me. But until that moment happens for them, they're going to keep that stuff inside. People have
Yeah.
been teased for so long. I'm sure you went through it.
What, being teased?
Yeah. Or the fear of being teased, I should say.
Yes, I had the fear of being teased, but interestingly enough, no one's teased me to my face. All the things I was afraid of, as far as I know, haven't happened. I haven't lost friends, as far as I know. I haven't lost clients, as far as I know. I do sole purpose sessions with clients around the world. And the main reason I wouldn't come out for the longest time is because I thought my practice would just die. I thought I would lose every client I ever had. And as far as I know, I'm still doing sole purpose sessions around the world. But no one's given me a hard time to my face.
Well, okay, but let's stay with the experiencers though. So here they're holding something in. They don't have anybody necessarily to talk to about the important stuff. And then Obama, goes on whatever late night talk show and cracks jokes about it. And that they're going to see, that's why I can't talk about it. They see that and they go, man, all they're going to do is make jokes and then play the X-Files music. And so that, you know what I mean? And so for the experiencer, if their leader, is going on TV, Clinton, well, I was going to do it, but and crack jokes about it. Well, the ridicule continues. The whole tinfoil hat crazy person teasing continues.
It's still there, even though it's in our night evening news, our local news. It's in our local news. You would hope that maybe more and more people would get on board and start, maybe people who are on the fence, maybe go over to the other side and realize that this is true. I don't know how many people on the fence have really dropped over to the other side yet. I don't know. We see UFOs in commercials Okay, that's funny. That's cute. So it might still just be kind of like a shtick, kind of like something cute. But the experiencers that I talk to, this has a serious hold on their minds, on their spirit, and in their lives. This is not a laughing matter. It's not funny to be an experiencer because it makes you question everything that you thought was true. Everything. Recently, I was watching a podcast. It's a popular podcast, and the gentleman who's the host, you would know who he is. He's not an experiencer, but he was saying something along the lines of, "How can you meet a UFO, an ET, and then the next day go about your business like nothing happened?" Well, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like the mental like breakdown could happen because we have to all of a sudden act like we didn't have a conversation with an ET.
Yeah, that's somebody that has no idea what they're talking about. That person like that wants to make that's a pretty flippant thing to say, by the way. To if they had an experience, they would talk about this in a completely different way.
Yeah.
You know, my first wasn't my first, but my first like crazy thing that happened to me was in 1995, and something was in my bedroom, okay, and it was standing off to the side. Forget about the details, but that lasted for about 15 minutes. Okay. After that was over, and I ran through my house, turning on the lights, looking for this thing, and it wasn't there. I slept with the lights on in my house and the TV for 10 years. I told no one. No one. And I had all the books, all the UFO videos, and I talked about this stuff with my friends if I could all the time. I didn't really hide that part about my interest in UFOs, but did I share that experience? Hell no.
What did you
No.
see? What did you see?
There was something standing in my bedroom.
What did it look like?
I've never talked about that.
Okay.
And the reason why, it's not that it's some big, deep personal thing. I don't want my experience to pollute or cloud somebody else's experience. You know, but when I talk to people about stuff like this and I
It
hear what
won't.
they have to say, I can compare it to my own experience.
Right. So if you hear another experiencer's event, it's not clouding your experience. If it's a true event, it doesn't cloud.
No, well, I don't want it to. I'm not in a. I speak to a very large audience, so if I go out and I give like details, the only thing that I've ever said about it is that it blinked.
Ooh.
Yeah, it blinked. We had to stare down for about 15 minutes. Yeah.
It blinked, which makes
Mhm.
me think that it was not a gray because I don't know if
Oh, I
birds
don't know.
blink.
No comment. No comment.
Okay, I'm not
No.
going to sit here and guess.
Yeah, no comment. I've avoided that. I've avoided that. And here's the other thing about going back to the experiencer and what politicians know and everything else. Um, I I how do I say this? It was a wide awake situation where the blinds on my patio doors in my bedroom were open. So the starlight and the moonlight was coming in. It wasn't like I was in a completely black room. In fact, it was fairly lit up. And so while this thing, while all of this is going on, um I was trying to assess the situation. I thought there was going to be a fight. I think that's the best way to put it. I thought I was going to do some Bruce Lee. Hey, yeah, right. And so that in my mind, because I was alone, So that's what I was in the middle of and thinking about. When I hear other people talk about situations similar to this, I have to take them serious. Because if I am going to share this experience and put myself out there, I just want the same respect from other people that that they deserve from me.
Yes. Right. Why didn't you get up and do a karate chop?
I did.
You
did.
hit it?
No. I got up to do the karate chop. Okay, so you talk to a lot of experiencers. Okay, so let me
Yeah.
tell you what happened.
Oh, good.
I'm planning my assault. Right, I'm lying on my back. It's standing right here at the corner of my bed on my right side. It's standing here, and my plan is to leap out of bed and turn on my lamp on my nightstand that's on this side. I have lamps on both nightstands, but I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. So that's my plan, right? And then I jump into action. I flip over, I turn on the light, and I turn around. Hi-ya! Right? Kind of like Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther. It's like, it had to look like that. But anyway, and it's gone. It's gone. When I turned around, it was gone. So I thought, this is my mind, it couldn't have gone out the door, the sliding glass doors. It went past my bed and out my bedroom door as I was doing this. That's what so I turn on the lights. I slowly go through the house into my daughter's bedroom. She wasn't there. I turn on the lights, all the bathrooms. I go down the hall into the dining room, flipping on the lights, turn on the dining room lights, get into the living room, and everything is locked. Everything is lit up, and my condo was empty. And I went back. I was pretty panicked. I was shaking. I went back into my bedroom and up to the sliding glass doors. I have a patio outside of my bedroom, and that door is locked. And and you know what I did? I swear on all that I love, I looked up in the sky. Just like that. I looked up in the sky to see if I could see anything. There wasn't anything there. But that's where my mind was at. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. Pretty incredible.
There was no communication between the two of you?
Nope, just blinking. Blinking.
Well, just blinking?
Yeah, just standing there. Yep.
You're not going to tell me what it looks like?
No.
Why is that, Jimmy?
No.
Okay.
Because okay, now here's another part to this. I was freaked out, and I was freaked out for a long time. I still am when I think about it. I mean, I had the crap scared out of me for sure. But many therapists have said to me, they've everybody's heard this story. You need a regression. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about that experience. I need to leave it where it is.
Okay.
So I had a session done with Sarah Breskman Cosme, and she's amazing, by the way. She's just amazing. And we did this thing for my TV show, right? So we do it on camera. But I had told Sarah over the years, I said, do not ask me about that. I don't want to know. Do not go there, period. I don't want to know. That experience, I just need it left right there.
Okay. I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. And you might not ever have to revisit it, and it doesn't matter. It's whatever you feel good with. It does not matter.
If I was in a group, what's that TV show called? People of Earth, right?
Oh, so, I love that show.
Yeah, the show was amazing. I just watched. I just binged it last week again. I've probably binged it a dozen times. Anyway, if I went to the Sev group, right, and we're all sitting there and we're sitting in a circle, when I watch that show, I always think about that thing. And this is in 1995 when it happened. I even in a group setting like that, I would only talk about what I just told you.
Okay.
I wouldn't take it a step further. I just need it to stay where it is. I don't want to relive
Okay.
it. I don't. I really, oh man. And only here's the other part. And I think that
Interesting.
experiencers go through this. There's one thing to say that this happened in meditation, your experience, or it's another thing you were sleeping and it was astral projection or okay, all right. But when it's a real physical thing, that's at another level of experiencer.
Yes.
It
And
truly is.
you bring up a good point because there's a shift from the nature of these experiences. They're not 3D as often as they used to be. So these are experiences that are happening in other dimensions. They're happening in other astral planes. And that's another reason people aren't coming out, because they're like, they tell me it's a dream and I know it is not a dream. For instance, if I didn't get those 2 X's on my tush, I would probably for the rest of my life think that was a crazy dream. It was the 2 X's on my tush. That was my proof and my validation was that is not a dream. And for people who know what I'm talking about, there is a difference between a traditional dream and an ET contact. They're worlds apart. But if you've never had that experience, it's hard for you to understand.
Right.
And that's another reason they won't come out, because that criticism. People want 3D evidence. It's almost impossible to give 3D evidence. You're lifted out of your bed and you're taken up through the roof. I mean, what 3D evidence do you have? Other than maybe there's 2 X's on your ass?
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time I saw those when you sent me those pictures.
Oh,
And
I have it right here.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
Sev's tush. See, but
yes, my
what
tush.
what it has done for me, Sev, and it's the same thing for you. You and I can talk about this and understand each other a bit differently in a conversation because of this. Because of my experiences, I don't know. I don't have the answers, but it is the drive that I have in my very soul, right? My job is to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do it for the community. I'm going to do it for the world. And I might not get there, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Okay, well, Jimmy, then I have to ask you, if you want to get to the bottom of it, but you're not even getting to the bottom of your own stuff.
Well, but that's, see, I don't need more. I know what I've seen and what I've experienced. And that not only with what I'm talking about in 1995, but different sightings that I've had with groups of friends. I have said many times that if I don't go public and talk about what we saw as a group together, then I'm not doing my job, because those people need that kind of support too. They need to be able to go back and go, see, Jimmy talked about that. I was there. That was a real thing. I just did. Where was I? I just did a conference where, it was Contact in the Desert. Okay. So I'm speaking and I'm telling a Contact in the Desert story about what had happened. We had 100 or 200 people out there. Again, no reason to go into this.
I'm going to go next year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you. You'll have the best time. But I'm telling this story. I've got a large, group of people in front of me listening to it. And somebody to my right says, I was there. And I said, come up here. And so that right there and that experience, after that happened, and I told this story on stage this year at Contact in the Desert. I went down Lisa Lyons calls me from coast to coast. And she said, okay, who's your guest this week for Coast to Coast? I said, Lisa, my guest is me. She goes, what? I said, let me tell you what happened. I just had this experience, and there's a lot of people out here, and we saw this thing together, but I want to tell the story, and then I want to take phone calls. And she goes, great idea. Do it. And that's the way that you support the community. I had so many people to this day have come up to me and say, not only did they hear that Coast to Coast show, but they were also there with me when this happened. And who else in a position like that in the media is going to go through an experience like that and then turn around and talk about it on the air? Nobody does that shit. You know, and that's my I saw what I saw. Dang it, I'm going to try to find out these answers. And that's it. That's my life's mission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that.
Well, same thing for you.
Thank you.
You know, you go through your experiences, that you may not have all the answers.
No.
But you're going to try to find them out, aren't you?
Mm-mm. Well, that's the interesting thing about this is the more you dig, the more questions there are. It's just endless. It's just
did you, Sev, here's an honest question. Did you think that by now you would have answers, that you would get all of this figured out? Did you think it was going to be easy?
Regarding my own personal experience, yeah, I thought I'd have some more answers. Yeah, but I don't. Not really.
You don't. And all of those, that's why you do, UFO 101. All these people that came in after 2017, right? And they hear about this for the first time on Twitter, right? And, oh, okay. All right. They thought that disclosure was going to happen by January 2018. That this was just, okay. Well,
now it's 25, 26.
Yeah. We are literally rolling into 2026, and it's not that simple, is it?
I had an experience in Roswell, New Mexico that included the show People of Earth.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, I ended up going to Roswell. It was a complete surprise, unexpected surprise. I went, make a long story short, in the hotel room. I'm in the hotel room, and I was with my partner at that time, and he's in the bathroom, and I'm watching TV. And as I'm scrolling, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I wish the show People of Earth would come on. But I knew that it had ended. I think it was only 2 seasons. It wasn't very long. I know the last show had just aired, and I knew that it wasn't on. So he comes out of the bathroom, and I stop the TV on a commercial. He says what he has to say. I turn the TV on. I don't even change the channel, and poof, People of Earth comes on. I was like, whoa, all right. So we watched it. He had never seen it before. We laughed. We went to sleep. And then that night, something bizarre happened.
What happened?
Well, what happened to me was I woke up in the middle of the night and the room was pitch black. I literally couldn't even see my hand right here. But I heard footsteps and I heard him get into the bed. And my first thought was, why was he sitting on the couch? Was it because of the aliens? And I go back to sleep. I get up in the morning. He's taking a shower. And I'm thinking, why would I think he's sitting on the couch? He never gets up in the middle of the night and sits on the couch. And why did I think it was the aliens? And then at that moment, I had this intense download, information and visuals. And I had come in contact with ETs that night, Greys, several of them. And they were giving me information about the hybridization program. And when I went to sleep that night, I didn't know any of this information. So all of a sudden, it all gets downloaded, hybridization program, some other information that they're giving me. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he comes out of the bathroom and I asked him, did something weird happen last night? He goes, oh yeah. And he was a very, very logical person. I said, what happened? He said, well, I don't know how to describe this, and this has never happened to me before in my life, but there was something in the room watching us. And it was so intense that I couldn't fall asleep. And I actually got up and I searched the hotel room. I couldn't find anything. And it was so intense that I couldn't go back to bed. So I sat on the couch and I watched you toss and turn and toss and turn. I thought you were awake. And so I told him what happened, and it wigged us out for the rest of the trip. It really messed with my mind. And I went back home to Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., and I'm like, I have to ignore this. I can't say anything to anybody. I have to ignore it. But it had a grip on me. It had a hold on me. So finally, after a few months, I confided to a friend who said, well, I happen to know a regression therapist in Virginia, which was 3 hours away one way, who specializes in ET contact. I'm like, I'm going. And he went with me. I'm really glad he went with me. He took really good notes. And it was a very interesting experience. Now, what do I think of hypnosis? I don't know. You've been under, I've been regressed. There's something there. What is it? I don't know. So when I talk about my ET contact, I prefer to talk about my conscious memories of ET contact because I have many of them. I rarely talk about any of my hypnosis experiences, only because I don't understand what that is. I have asked hypnotists before, regression therapists, can you make something up? And they said, well, if you believe it to be true, then that's your truth. And I'm like, wow, that makes it even more mysterious.
Yeah, I know.
But it has a lot of it's for experiencers who are ready. It can really be a fantastic thing to do. It could really be very healing. And if someone's ready, if an experiencer is ready, I do suggest it. I just don't know what it is.
What do you make of the bugosphere? You know,
Oh,
Burleson just went to Mexico and he saw this for himself. The cast of characters that is around it, I can put that to the side, but the video is pretty compelling, and the sphere itself is interesting. I've had people that I've talked to, friends, that I just did an interview with Jaime Maussan about it for Beyond Belief, for Gaia, and okay. So anyway, before I go off on a tangent there, but I've got friends that I've been with recently that went down to Mexico and touched this and held it. The video
well,
is strange.
that's my
What-
question. I was just about to ask, how can we touch it if it really is an ET artifact?
I don't know.
Because you're not supposed to touch a UFO, right?
I don't know. I don't.
How can we touch it?
Every time I think I know something, it changes for me. So I just keep everything. I just stay in the middle. I just stay in the middle.
Exactly. Right.
I,
It's
I,
awfully pretty.
it,
Like if I had
it-
it, I would display it in my living room. It's very pretty.
It's pretty trippy, and the video is pretty compelling. But here you have Burleson. You know, you think about that, right? A representative flying down there, checking it out, seeing it firsthand, and taking that knowledge back to Capitol Hill. Does this? I don't know.
Well,
I don't
why
know.
hasn't the government confiscated it if it truly is an ET artifact?
I asked Jaime about that. I said, dude, how did you get that out of Colombia? He goes, man, carry on luggage.
No.
I said, what? He goes, yeah, they asked about it. I said, it's a piece of art. They didn't, I'm not going to tell them it's a UFO. And that's it. And they let me get on the plane with it. And so that kind of makes sense. If it at the time when he got it out of the country, it wasn't this thing that it is today. Would Colombia have let it go? I don't know. And remember also, that's a third world country, and I say that in the kindest of ways, but they don't quite have the regulation or the funding or the government infrastructure to deal with something like that. They still have guerrilla armies living in the jungle that are trying to overthrow the government.
But
I know. You're thinking logically. I like that. So if I put my logic hat on, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
But when you go to a country like that, which I have a lot, it's a different way of doing things, and there isn't the government presence around to deal with stuff like this. It's
So
just
he
not
took
there.
He took it out of Colombia, and where did he take it? To the States?
To Mexico.
He
It's in
took it to
Mexico
Mexico.
City. Yeah.
And no one's bothering him. He has it.
Well, I think he's
It's
got it
hard to
locked up.
believe.
He's got it locked up in a safe. Well, okay. If you take the bugosphere story, you look at it and you hear the story. All right. Okay. It's like it goes into the whatever pile. But when you look at the videos, man, oof, that's pretty interesting. It's definitely worth looking at, and I did ask Jaime, I said, dude, cut that thing open. He goes, no, I'm not going to destroy it. I said, you're talking about things that are on the inside of it, this Tesla tower and, the spheres that are on the outside and the optical fibers and all. Don't you want to see what's on the inside of it? No, it's going to stay the way it is. Now, I think they found a second, maybe even a third one now. So I don't know. And it's not the first time something like this has been seen in the skies.
They found 3 in Colombia?
2 for sure. I think another one has been seen. But here in Southern California, I think it was Alhambra, which is a little town south of Pasadena. It's called Alhambra. I think that was the town. Maybe 12 years ago, I got sent an image of this sphere in this guy's backyard in Alhambra, and he sent me a bunch of pictures. I posted it. It's a long time ago. But I went back and looked at those images, and was it the same as the bugosphere? Not exactly, but I would say that it was a metallic sphere, round and about the same size, just above the tree in this guy's backyard.
Okay.
Pretty interesting photograph.
Well, let's ask the question now that do you think Lockheed Martin made the Tic Tac?
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
And we're not using it. There's wars all over the world, and we're like, oh no, we're not going to use it. We're going to keep this for the next war.
Right. What is its purpose? All right. So let me just throw something out there. Is it a weapon? Right? Is it a weapon? Is it something that you're going to put something on it and go blow something up?
Well, the U.S. government would make it a weapon, yes.
Or let's take it a step further. Would you use it as an observation platform that you could go and park anywhere in the world and get it zipped in and zipped out and go and use it to observe something?
Okay, that's possible, but why would they not make it a weapon? With those abilities, that would be a master weapon.
Right. All of these are great questions, and I think that we've all thrown these ideas out there. If that is the case, all right, us finding out about the Nimitz and Fravor and everything else was an accident that I don't think anybody expected to happen. If you really have an anti-gravitic piece of tech like that can travel at those speeds and not affect the atmosphere and everything else that apparently the Tic Tac has demonstrated, you don't want anybody to know about that in any level, not as a weapon, not as anything else, what the technology is. That is a secret on the highest of orders.
Oh, okay.
Now,
So they fly
I
it
would think.
over Nimitz. I mean, that doesn't make sense either then.
No, you would. I think that you would want to see a few things. You would want to see how pilots in the military would react to seeing something for the first time. How would they react to that?
We know how they would react.
Well, they did. Yeah, their mind was blown. But so you would want that. You would also want to see if it could operate in a military theater. What would radar see? How would all of that? And the only way to do a data collection like that is to go into a carrier battle group like that, away from a city, out on the open ocean, and get some data back. I would say that makes a lot of sense. But you would also do that if you were ET, Sev. You would want to do the same thing. What is it that they can see? Can they see us? Can we fly around? You would do that too if you were ET. I think that same type of data collection works on both ideas, right? ET or us. Do I think that Lockheed has that technology? 150%, not 100%. 150%. Absolutely, they do. They do. They better, or we're paying them a lot of money to do nothing. I would assume that they would be, I see stuff. You come out to my house, Sev, many people have. Come out to my house. We'll go up on my top patio in the back of the house, face skunk works, and eat some popcorn. A couple of chairs, and just sit out there at night or during the day. Sit out there at night and just watch. It's crazy.
What would I see?
What you want to see. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see an alien blinking at me is what I want to see when I come to your house.
I don't want to see that in my house. But, and so the testing and the stuff that's going on out here. Yeah. I think that an observation platform that can move around pretty quickly is something that is being worked on. I'm not going to say anything else.
You know who's one of my favorite speakers is Michael Schratt. Have you ever seen any of his talk? Well, you probably have.
He's been
extraordinary. Huh?
He's been here at my house.
Oh yeah, I interviewed him on my show. And I saw him at MUFON. He just blew me away with those wonderful illustrations that he has. And it's endless. It's just one illustration after another illustration of UFOs in these military bases it's so many.
Yeah. So he's a walking pillar of knowledge on the subject.
I like him.
He's very, very smart. And when you look at, he's left, I've got just stacks and reams of stuff and big, images that he has gifted me over the years. And here's the thing. If even half of what he talks about and what he knows is real, then the Department of Defense has been dealing with this subject at a level that most people don't understand for a very, very, very long time. This is a real subject to the Department of Defense and the Pentagon and all of those contractors, aerospace and so forth. That it's like it becomes factual. I think it's very difficult to prove that it's not happening. I don't think you can.
I don't think you can prove that.
No, you can't.
Yeah. I remember he had this one drawing. It was in Berkeley of an egg-shaped craft. And it had a hole on the side so you can see inside of it. And so all of a sudden, egg-shaped crafts are very popular because of Jake Barber. And that video that he showed, which was such a disappointment. What did you think of that video?
The helicopter.
Yeah, with the egg thing on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, what turned out, that wasn't he didn't take that video. He was
No, but leading up to it, the way
was a
they
great
promoted
story.
it was kind of iffy because the way they promoted it, we thought we were going to see this
His
special video from
helicopter.
Jake Barber,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we see a video that has nothing to do with Jake Barber.
Yeah, that's right. But here's when it goes to egg-shaped craft, if you go back throughout history, I mean, you can go back to the 40s and 30s, all the way through it. The egg-shaped craft is nothing new.
Right.
It has always been there. Look at Lonnie Zamora,
Yeah.
right? And Socorro. If you want evidence of, an egg-shaped craft, just look at that. But there are so many, not only photographs, images, and videos, and eyewitness that has gone back for a very, very long time. The Tic Tac and egg-shaped craft are nothing new. They have always been there. Look, do you remember the TV show? What was that called? Mork and
Yes.
Mindy.
Yeah.
What was his? Remember his spaceship?
It was egg-shaped.
It was an egg. Friggin' egg.
Yes.
So yeah, it's nothing new. I'm trying to think of have I seen
I have a Robin Williams story. So many years, yeah. So I'm a jewelry designer, accessories designer, and I've had my own businesses. And I had a store in the Harbor Place in Baltimore, which at one point was the top tourist draw in Maryland. And so I had a store there. I was not there at the time. My then husband was in the store. I was home making jewelry, and I was going to come in a couple hours later. And what happened was he's in the store, and a crowd of people come by, and they asked him, "Did you see Robin Williams? Did you see Robin Williams? He's in here." He goes, "No, I haven't seen him." So they take off trying to find him. Next thing he knows, Robin Williams comes into my store. And he wants to hide. And so I had this curtain in the back. So he put him in this curtained area, pulled the curtain back, and those people came back. They're like, "We hear Robin Williams is in here." And he said, "No, he's not in here." And so they left. Robin and he had a little bit of a talk, and then he left. And when he told me that story, I instantly had so much sympathy for that man. Can you imagine what that's like? The poor guy just wanted to walk around. He had to hide in my store.
You're gonna have to do that at Contact in the Desert.
What?
You're gonna have to hide. People are gonna be chasing you down. People are gonna be, "Jimmy, I gotta hide." Yeah, I know. Yeah. Welcome to the big show.
Yeah, well,
Thank
you
you for
probably have to
everything.
hide too.
Oh, I'll hide behind you. I'll hide behind you. When do your new shows come out, and where can everybody chase you down?
Well, the Nixon X-Files came out today on my YouTube channel, Alien Spirit with Sev. My new podcast, UFO and ET 101, is also on my YouTube channel. It has captions if you like captions, or it's on all the podcasts, Apple, iHeart, Spotify. My website is planetsev.com. If you're an experiencer and you need some help, you can contact me through there. You can also go to the International UFO Bureau. And my book, You Have the Right to Talk to Aliens, is available on Amazon. And I also have an interview show on my YouTube channel, Alien Spirit with Sev. And that's all I can remember right now.
You did good, kid. You did good. You did good. I can't wait to see you again. And
I want to see you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Contact in the Desert. Let's
Well, you're coming out to the East Coast.
I will be there next week. Are you going to come hang out with me?
Well, I would love to come hang out with you, but no, there are no tickets available.
What
town are you going to?
Charlottesville.
I wonder how far that is from me.
I will send you information. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen.
It's in 2 weekends?
August 1st, next week.
It's
August
next
1st.
weekend?
Next weekend.
Oh my God, it's August already. Wow.
No, right? But come hang out. Dinner's on me. Let's have fun.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. That would be fun. Let me see if I can make that happen. Yeah, okay.
Make
you
it
can
happen.
get me in.
Oh, come on. Your Sev friggin' Tok. No,
Oh,
seriously though. You just open up the weekend. It's in Charlottesville. I'll send you the information. But come hang out. All right.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You can be my date all weekend.
Ooh.
And yeah. No, I'm being serious. Just come out.
I'm serious.
And let's just do that hang. You'll have so much fun.
I
It's
know.
the Psychic Olympics.
Whatever
how
that
cool-
is.
I know,
What the
right?
heck is that?
Does it matter? When it's called the Psychic Olympics, man, let's
Are
do
people
it.
going to be competing psychically? Well, I do have to see
man.
that. Yeah.
Remember that movie? What was that movie with Drew Barrymore? Firestarter.
Oh,
Remember?
she was also in ET.
Yeah. Okay. Another Drew Barrymore. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Psychic Olympics. So remote viewing, telekinesis, telepathy, random number generators, and yeah, all the stuff of the mind, you know. You got the Monroe Institute and all of that. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay,
Sold out. What is it?
It's
How
sold
many?
out.
What's that?
Yeah.
500 people? 3,000 people? What?
It's big. It's big. It's big. So I'll send you the information. It is sold out, but that's for people that are trying to buy tickets. But if you want to come out, yeah, okay, you'll be my +1.
Thank you.
Behave and be well. I'll send you everything now, and so you can go and look at it and see where that is to you. Just let me know tomorrow. Sev, thank you so much. Another wonderful conversation.
I
You're the
loved it.
absolute
Thank
best.
you, everybody.
Sev, thank you so much. Sev's links. Good night, Sev.
Bye.
Sev's links are below on our website and throughout social media. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Let's see, tomorrow night on the show, we are talking about the police, law enforcement, and the paranormal. All of that and much more tomorrow night on Fade to Black. But for now, all I've got is Go Beckley Tap. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go Beckley Tappy.